My live stream was a ghost town. I sighed, slumping in my gaming chair. On April Fool's Day, of all days, my other two roommates were out with their girlfriends, leaving me and Ethan, the dorm's other resident bachelor, to our own devices. I was bored out of my skull and went live, hoping for a miracle. The viewer count stubbornly hovered in the single digits, most of them likely bots. Across the room, Ethan was laser-focused on his game, the rapid clicks of his keyboard echoing in the quiet space. I watched the sharp line of his jaw, the way the desk lamp carved shadows across his face, and felt a familiar pang of envy. I reached out and poked his cheek. He should just stream his face, I told him. He wouldn't have to worry about viewership with a face like that. Ethan's eyes, a deep, startling blue, flicked over to me. He asked if I was a fan, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips, before his attention snapped back to the screen. He leaned into his headset microphone, coordinating with his teammates in a low, resonant baritone that always made me jealous. It was the kind of voice that could sell timeshares or whisper promises. I was one of its many victims. I still remembered the night he'd had a nightmare and crawled into my bunk, his breath warm against my ear as he asked to just hold on to me for a bit. The deep timbre of his voice had sent a shiver down my spine that had nothing to do with the cold. Remembering that sensation, my fingers drifted from his cheek down to the pulse fluttering in his throat. His Adam's apple was so defined. It bobbed under my touch, and for a moment, his gaze met mine again, dark and unreadable, before he turned back to the furious defense of their base in the game. When the word defeat flashed across his screen in blazing red letters, his face flushed with irritation. I couldn't help but reach out and ruffle his already messy brown hair, trying to soothe him. He looked up at me, the gamer rage on his face melting away as he saw my expression. He reached up and gently pinched my cheek. He told me not to worry about the dead stream. He'd drop something big to get things moving. Before I could process that, his long, deft fingers were flying across his phone screen. Less than a minute later, the gaudy animation for a Galaxy gift exploded across my stream, blinding me. Holy crap. As I stammered out a series of sycophantic thank yous, insisting he was my one and only savior, a genuine, pleased smile finally broke across Ethan's face. He waved it off like it was nothing and queued up for another match. And for him, it really was nothing. He had money. The influx of new viewers drawn in by the massive gift was immediate. While Ethan battled it out in his game, I started interacting with the chat. A single comment caught my eye. It was a dare. Someone suggested that since it was April Fool's Day, I should confess my love to my roommate as a joke. I felt a cold sweat break out on my neck. A prank confession to Ethan? Absolutely not. I had a very clear memory of him shutting down a guy from our stats class who tried to ask him out. Ethan's face had gone cold, his expression bordering on disgust as he told the guy to get lost before he got hurt. His features, normally just strikingly handsome, took on a menacing edge when he was angry. I tried to ignore the comment, but the idea caught fire in the chat. More and more people chimed in, seconding the motion. One user promised a gift if I went through with it. My little stream had never seen this much action. I bit my lip, weighing the risk. Fortune favors the bold, I thought. Screw it. I picked up my phone, my hands shaking slightly, and walked over to Ethan. My voice came out as a dry croak when I said his name. He didn't even look up, just grunted in acknowledgement. Following the chat script, I haltingly told him that I thought I had feelings for him and asked if he would go out with me. The words felt foreign and absurd in my mouth. My heart hammered against my ribs, and a wave of heat washed over my face. It was the first time I'd ever confessed to anyone, and it was to my male roommate, even if it was fake. Ethan's hands froze on his keyboard. The frantic action in his game came to a dead stop. He slowly lowered his phone and turned to face me. His dark eyes drilled into mine. In a slow, deliberate voice, he said he hadn't quite heard me and asked me to say it again. I was in too deep to back out now. I stammered out again that I liked him. His eyes instantly darkened. A flush crept up from his neck, spreading all the way to the tips of his ears. He looked even more worked up than he had after losing his game. A sense of dread washed over me. I'd really pissed him off this time. The next thing I knew, Ethan was on his feet. I instinctively backed away, ready for a punch, and started to explain it was just a joke. But he cut me off with a single word. "Deal." I froze. Now it was my turn to be stunned. Did he just agree? I had to admit Ethan was something else. Tall, sculpted, with an air of effortless confidence. 6'1", a lean physique you could bounce a quarter off of. He was good to me, too, always treating me to dinner, tossing money at my stream, even tutoring me for finals. But we were both guys. Before I could formulate a response, I was pinned against my closet door. The clean, subtle scent of his laundry detergent and something uniquely him enveloped me. His impossibly handsome face was inches from mine, and my legs felt like jelly. I raised a hand to push him away, but my palm met the unyielding wall of his chest. It was solid as a rock. I tried to pull my hand back, but he pressed it firmly against his pecs, a sly grin spreading across his face. He asked if I liked it, saying he'd been working out specifically for this. He told me to feel free to touch more. My eyes darted around the room, anywhere but at him. I tried to reason with him, breathlessly questioning if Ethan even knew what day it was. A smirk played on his lips. He leaned in closer, the bridge of his nose brushing against mine. He asked if I was testing him. I didn't understand what he meant. He let out a low chuckle, a sound full of affection that made my stomach do a flip. He knew exactly what day it was. It was a very important day, the day we officially got together. He asked how he did with that answer and if I liked it. Baby. I was completely dumbfounded. He was serious. I tried to speak, to tell him that today was, but my words were cut off. Ethan's lips crashed down on mine. My mind short-circuited. My first kiss. I tried to twist away, my muffled protests lost against his mouth, but his large hand cupped my jaw, holding me in place. He murmured against my lips, asking why I was pulling away, if I was shy. My words came out garbled, trying to remind him I was still live. His excitement only seemed to grow. He thought it was brilliant, a public confession with so many people watching. He was so happy. Without giving me another chance to speak, he kissed me again, deeper this time. One hand slid down to my waist, pulling me flush against him, while the other tangled in the hair at the back of my neck, holding me fast. It was an all-consuming kiss that left my spine tingling and my body so weak I could barely stand. He finally pulled back, and I gasped for air, dizzy and disoriented. His voice was a low, husky whisper as he told me I tasted sweet. The sound alone was enough to make my knees buckle again. I managed to tell him to let go, that today was, but he cut me off with another kiss, swallowing all my protests. The atmosphere in the room grew heavy and charged. I lost all will to resist, melting into his arms. That night, my stream exploded. Thousands of people had listened live as I was kissed senseless by my roommate. Contrary to my own straight guy panic, the chat was losing its collective mind. The comments were wild, saying this was the most exciting thing they'd ever seen, that I really knew how to make a move on my roommate. They commented on the sounds, the breathing. The frenzy didn't last long, though. Ethan snatched my phone, telling the viewers that the rest wasn't for them. Amid a chorus of digital protests from the chat, he ended the broadcast. He then lifted me onto my bed and immediately started kissing me again. I was lightheaded from lack of oxygen, my vision swimming. A faint redness bloomed at the corners of my eyes. His long fingers gently brushed my cheek, his hot breath fanning across my face. He warned me that looking at him like that could get me into trouble. As my head cleared, I pushed hard against his chest. He couldn't. My protest was once again smothered by his mouth. He seemed addicted. His large frame pressed down on me, his hands beginning to roam. The hem of my shirt was pushed up to my chest. He leaned down, his warm breath ghosting over the sensitive skin of my waist. He murmured about how soft my skin was, how defined my waist was. A jolt went through me and I went completely limp. It was over. I had played with fire and gotten burned. He was still chuckling, asking if I liked it, telling me my body was responding. A raw, instinctual panic rose in me. I swung my hand, and the sharp crack of it connecting with his cheek echoed in the room. His head snapped to the side. The reality of what I'd done hit me. I apologized, panting, insisting I didn't mean to hit him. I confessed that the whole thing was a joke, that it was April Fool's Day. The playful warmth in Ethan's expression vanished, replaced by an unnerving stillness. He lowered his eyes, his gaze cold and sharp as it fixed on me. The shift in his aura was so intense I felt myself shrink. I was truly sorry, I said, explaining I just wanted to pull a prank and never thought he'd actually agree. The silence stretched for a few seconds. Just when I was bracing for a fist, a humorless laugh escaped him. So, he said, the confession was just a prank. I nodded, turning my head away, unable to meet his gaze. I felt like a complete jerk, a manipulator who had toyed with my best friend's feelings for a few viewers. He forced my chin up, making me look at him. His voice was low and laced with a dangerous edge. He told me it was a little late for apologies now. I started to panic. This was spiraling out of my control. I asked what I could do to make it up to him. His eyes darkened, but he didn't answer. Instead, he countered with a question of his own, asking if I had hated it when he kissed me. I thought about the dizzying, overwhelming sensation, the way my body had betrayed me. A blush crept up my neck. After a long moment, I honestly shook my head. He pressed on, his handsome face close, his voice a seductive whisper. He asked about when he touched me. I couldn't answer, just stood there rigidly, insisting that I was straight. He cut me off, saying if I didn't hate it, why not give us a try? His hand suddenly gripped my waist, sending another jolt through me. My body betrayed me with a small, involuntary sound. He told me to stop touching him. His large frame pressed closer. He told me that my body was saying it liked him. Then, he took a pillowcase and gently tied it over my eyes. My world went dark. I felt his fingers trace a line down my stomach. He whispered for me to close my eyes, promising to make me feel good. My mind was a blank slate. I was putty in his hands. In my most vulnerable moment, I heard his low laugh. He asked if I was really enjoying myself this much. I covered my face with my hands, mortified, and cursed at him through a choked voice. Soon, the sound of the shower started. I lay curled up on the bed, drowning in shame and confusion. Why couldn't I push him away? I was straight. And him, he had the audacity to say I was the one enjoying it. I was furious. For the next week, I gave Ethan the cold shoulder. But he was relentless, sticking to me like glue. Even our other roommates noticed something was up, teasing me about how Ethan was wooing me like a new boyfriend, something they'd never seen him do for anyone. Their words made me blush and pale by turns. All the while, Ethan would look at me with puppy dog eyes, a 6'1" picture of misery, apologizing and begging me not to be mad. I wasn't really angry anymore, just deeply unsettled. Every time I looked at him now, my mind would flash back to that night, to his handsome face flushed with passion, his voice husky as he asked if I was comfortable. The memory made my skin crawl. Before class, Ethan slid into the seat next to me again, whispering promises that he'd behave, that I was the most amazing, and to please stop ignoring him. The heat in my face intensified. I hissed at him to stop before I slapped him in front of everyone. He became immediately docile, promising to be quiet. I eyed him suspiciously. A second later, he leaned in, his hot breath against my ear, and whispered that I could slap him back in the dorm. If I did it now, he might get too turned on and kiss me. My face went supernova. I shoved him away, calling him a pervert. Besides ignoring Ethan, I hadn't dared to check my streaming account. I'd gone viral for all the wrong reasons. The audio of me being kissed by Ethan was clipped and reposted by countless meme accounts. The clickbait titles were mortifyingly specific. My DMs were flooded with people asking for a follow-up. I pinned a new video to my profile with a caption in all caps. The streamer is actually straight. The comments were brutal. They questioned if a straight guy would really kiss his friend for 10 minutes. They wanted to know if we'd kissed, hugged, or done other things. One comment, which I found morbidly funny, read, "It's okay, we only see a desperate straight guy." I was losing my mind. The sheer audacity of the internet was overwhelming. Before bed, I made one last desperate attempt, replying to a comment to reiterate that I was, in fact, straight. Then I logged off, defeated. Just as I was about to fall asleep, I felt a warm body press against my back. Ethan's raspy voice came from behind me. He'd had a nightmare. He asked if he could hold me. His breath was hot and damp against my ear, and a strange numbness spread through me. He pleaded again, his voice low and vulnerable, as if he was still trapped in the dream. My resolve softened. I agreed, but warned him not to try anything. He wrapped his arms around me gently, burying his face in the crook of my neck. He whispered that he would be good, that he just didn't want to be alone. The usual prideful alpha was gone, replaced by what sounded like a lost puppy. I found myself stroking his hair out of habit. Ethan had been kidnapped as a child. The perpetrators had locked him, a 6-year-old, in a dark cellar for days with no food or water. He'd been terrified of the dark ever since. Nightmares would sometimes pull him back to that cellar. I'd found him on the balcony one night, shaking in the cold wind. His face etched with a vulnerability I'd never seen before. He had asked to hold me then, too. My sympathy had overridden everything else, and I'd pulled him into my bed. After that, whenever a nightmare struck, he would climb into my bunk. Even with the current awkwardness between us, I couldn't turn him away. I sighed, my hand instinctively patting his back in a slow, rhythmic motion. His arms around me tightened. Long after his breathing evened out into sleep, I lay awake, hyper-aware of the heat from his body pressed against mine. Our relationship thawed after that night. It almost felt like we were back to being just friends, except for the way Ethan would stare at me with a burning intensity when he thought I wasn't looking. It was unnerving. One afternoon when we had the dorm to ourselves, I decided to clear the air once and for all. He leaned against the doorframe, watching me with those unblinking eyes. I suddenly found it hard to start. I licked my dry lips, and his eyes immediately darkened. His voice was hoarse as he told me not to tease him, that he'd lose control and kiss me if I kept doing that. Before I could react, he'd crossed the room, his hand on the back of my neck, and his lips pressed against mine. It was a brief, gentle touch, over as quickly as it began. He pulled me into a hug, his voice thick with emotion as he confessed how much he liked me and asked for a chance. The refusal died on my lips. I couldn't say it. He looked at me, his eyes soft and pleading, and asked me to just try for a little while. If I still felt uncomfortable, he promised to never bother me again. I hesitated. It was so hard to say no to him when he was this earnest. Maybe it was our history, or maybe it was the guilt I still felt for deceiving him. I looked up, meeting his gaze, and heard my own strained voice agree to a trial period. If it didn't work, we'd go back to being just friends. The words were barely out of my mouth before he backed me against the closet again. His kiss hungry and demanding. The familiar, dizzying sensation swept over me. I pushed him back, complaining that he couldn't just kiss me whenever he wanted. He stared at me, his eyes full of fire. He reminded me that I'd agreed to try. And then he was kissing me again. The hem of my shirt was lifted, his warm palm searing against my skin. I went limp in his arms. By the time he went to the bathroom, I was still leaning against the wall, catching my breath. I already regretted it. Was he some kind of kissing monster? But there was no turning back now. I fully understood what I'd signed up for when Ethan dragged me on a date. We stumbled upon a promotion at a department store. A couples competition where the pair that held each other the longest would win a gold necklace. I tried to pull Ethan away, but it was too late. He was already whispering in my ear, asking if I wanted the necklace. I shook my head firmly. It was all heterosexual couples. What would we look like? He ignored me, patting my head indulgently as if I were a child, saying he knew I was a sucker for free stuff. I found myself being signed up. The employee gave us a hesitant look, explaining that it was for couples only. Ethan just raised an eyebrow, took my hand, and said with feigned exasperation that he guessed we'd have to prove it since people were so skeptical. Before I could protest, he leaned in and kissed me lightly on the lips. My face erupted in flames. The employee's professional demeanor cracked, and she broke into a wide, knowing grin. Ethan licked his lips, asking if that was sufficient proof, offering to go for longer if needed. I was mortified and pinched his side hard. The employee, barely containing her laughter, waved us through. When it was time to start, Ethan crouched down, looking up at me. He asked how I wanted to be held. My face was on fire. People were staring. I could hear whispers around us, girls commenting on the cute couple, on how sweet the taller one was being. I was deeply uncomfortable. Seeing my hesitation, Ethan pulled the hood of my sweatshirt up over my head. He told me it would only be for a little while, and if I got shy, I could just hide my face in his neck. I slowly wrapped my arms around his shoulders. His hands slid under me, lifting me effortlessly. I hesitated, it felt too intimate. But we were already here. I gritted my teeth, wrapped my legs around his lean waist, and buried my face in his neck. He adjusted his grip, holding me securely with one arm, leaving his other hand free to rub my back. He commented on how light I was. I told him to stop touching me or I'd punch him. The hand stilled. The timer started. One by one, couples dropped out. Ethan remained as steady as a rock. I tapped his head, telling him not to overdo it. He chuckled, his voice a low rumble against my ear, and asked me to have a little faith in my boyfriend. My face burned again. I hissed at him not to get ahead of himself. In the end, we won. Back in the empty dorm, Ethan collapsed on the bed, complaining that his arms were sore and demanding a massage. I was about to refuse, but his pitiful expression got the better of me. As I worked the knots out of his shoulders, I felt his intense gaze on me. He said quietly that he wished the competition had lasted longer. I didn't look up, asking why, because then, he explained, he would have had an excuse to hold me in public for longer. I looked up and met his soft, sincere gaze. For a second, my heart stuttered. I quickly looked away, muttering about him being weird and sentimental. The rest of my words were lost in a kiss. He pinned my head, kissing me with a thoroughness that left us both breathless. He looked down at me, his eyes burning, and asked in a low, husky voice if he got a reward for being so amazing today. I grabbed a handful of his hair and told him to get off me. He put on his wounded puppy face again, asking if there was really no reward. I couldn't stand it. I asked him what he wanted. He answered with one word. You. Before I could process it, he was kissing me again, and I was on my back on the bed. His warm hands traveled from my neck downwards. My whole body felt like it was buzzing. When his fingers brushed the waistband of my jeans, a jolt of clarity shot through me. I shoved him off, my breathing ragged. Not again. We couldn't. But he held me fast, his hot breath on my skin. He told me to close my eyes, that he would take care of me. This time was even more intense than the first. I gripped his hair, completely powerless, my eyes welling up with moisture. Afterward, I lay on the bed, not wanting to move a muscle. Ethan returned with a tissue, his voice still raspy with a hint of laughter as he told me how cute I was. I shot him a glare and told him to shut up. His eyes darkened. He warned me not to look at him like that or he wouldn't be able to control himself. I covered my eyes with my arm and muttered, "Pervert." His voice grew more excited. He told me to say it again. I grabbed a pillow and hurled it at him, telling him to get lost. He obeyed. The shower ran for a very long time. I was left on the bed, questioning my entire existence. I found myself searching online. Can a straight guy get turned on by another guy? And what does it mean if you have feelings for your best friend? The results were illuminating. My world tilted on its axis. Was I gay? I delved deeper, discovering a whole new world of information that made my head spin. It was a lot to take in. Just as I was in the middle of this existential crisis, Ethan's voice came from the bathroom. He'd forgotten a change of clothes. I quickly shut my laptop and grabbed them for him. The door opened a crack, letting out a billow of steam. Through the gap, I caught a glimpse of him. I looked away instantly, my face burning. Damn it, he was ridiculously ripped. He took the clothes, his voice a husky, seductive murmur as he thanked me and told me he liked me. I told him to get lost and spun around to leave. As I walked away, a strange, chilling thought entered my mind. If this was really happening, if I was really gay, then I was definitely going to be the one on top. On Friday night, our department had a party at an event hall. On the way there, my roommates were eyeing the way Ethan was practically draped over me. One asked if we'd made up. Ethan, with his arms slung over my shoulder, said we'd always been great. Right, babe? I swatted his head, telling him not to call me that. At the party, we ended up playing truth or dare. My luck was terrible, and soon enough I drew a dare. Kiss the person next to you. I froze. Ethan was on my left. Another guy was on my right. The room erupted in jeers and chants. I could feel Ethan's gaze burning into the side of my head. My heart started to pound. Honestly, if this had happened before the April Fool's incident, I probably would have just grabbed his head and planted a loud, goofy kiss on his cheek. We were best friends. What was a little kiss? But now, in front of all these people, after everything that had happened in private, I was embarrassed. I hesitated for too long, and the mood grew awkward. I finally mumbled that I'd take the drink instead. I picked up my glass. Beside me, Ethan's face fell. He didn't say a word to me for the rest of the night. On the walk back to the dorms, he was still radiating cold fury. I felt a pang of guilt. I asked if he was angry. He gave me a cool look and said he wasn't, but his jaw was clenched tight. I'd had a few drinks, and my head was fuzzy. I grabbed his arm, trying to explain that I hadn't taken the drink on purpose. It was just, I was too shy to kiss him in public. But the words wouldn't come out. Ethan stopped walking, his expression wounded. He asked if kissing me was really that repulsive. I stammered that it wasn't, that's not what I meant. The tension lingered all the way back to our dorm building. Before we went inside, I pulled him into the small grove of trees next to the building, telling him we needed to talk. He let me pull him along, his silence heavy. In the darkness, I couldn't see his face clearly, but I could feel his anger. I didn't want him to go to bed angry. I had to fix this. My mind, clouded by alcohol, struggled to find the right words. I'd never had to soothe anyone like this before. Before I could say anything, he pulled me into a crushing hug. His voice was low and strained. He told me not to break up with him. I was confused. Where was this coming from? He buried his face in my neck, his voice cracking as he asked if this was why I'd brought him here. He said he wasn't angry, just hurt that I'd rather drink than even touch his cheek. He just wanted me to comfort him. He promised he'd stop kissing me if I hated it so much. Just please, don't hate him. Before he could say anything more, I grabbed the collar of his shirt, pulled his head down, and kissed him. As our lips met, a strange, unfamiliar emotion I could only identify as heartache washed over me. He really was a big idiot. He stiffened for a second, then his arms wrapped around my waist, pulling me tighter, and he took over the kiss. When he finally let me go, I was breathless, leaning against him for support. I rested my forehead on his shoulder. My voice was raspy as I told him I didn't hate him, I just needed some time. For a long moment he was silent. Just when I thought my answer wasn't enough, his voice, full of unrestrained joy, came from above me. He asked me to kiss him again. By the time he was done with me, my lips were swollen and tender. He held me, grinning like a fool. He loved me so much. Could we kiss again? I shoved him, saying no, we had to go back. My protest was cut short as his mouth found mine again. When we finally got back to the dorm, my roommate took one look at me and asked what was wrong with my lips. They were red and puffy. I mumbled something about being bitten by a mosquito. From across the room, Ethan let out a soft chuckle. I shot him a death glare. It was all his fault. After that night, Ethan seemed to develop a full-blown kissing addiction. In the dorm, in an empty classroom, in the woods behind the dorms. Anywhere we were alone, he would coax me into kissing him, and it would quickly escalate. The next weekend, with our roommates gone, I was once again pinned to the bed, being kissed until my legs gave out. His lips started to trail downwards. He looked up at me, then dipped his head. My mind exploded like a firework. A low, restrained sound escaped my lips. He was so cute. When he stood up to head for the bathroom again, I regained enough sense to grab his shirt. I told him in a small voice to stop taking cold showers. I could help him. The look in his eyes deepened instantly. A strange sense of injustice filled me. We were both men. How come he was not only bigger but had more stamina too? For the university's annual spring formal, Ethan, with his natural good looks, was chosen to be the male MC. In a tailored black suit, he looked absolutely stunning. The stage lights hit him and he looked like a movie star. A wave of murmurs went through the crowd. Even one of my roommates commented that if he were a girl, he'd fall for Ethan. He was dazzling. I couldn't take my eyes off him. When the event ended, I hurried backstage to find him, only to see him cornered by a younger student. The guy was standing way too close to him. An irrational spike of annoyance shot through me. Why did he have to be so close just to talk? I slipped behind some stage props to eavesdrop. The younger guy was gushing about how amazing Ethan was. Ethan's reply was polite but distant. He then looked around, as if searching for someone, and pulled out his phone with a slight frown. The younger student was still talking excitedly. Ethan politely cut him off, saying he had to go. But the guy grabbed his arm and asked if he had a girlfriend. I tensed up. Why was he asking that? At the same time, I found myself waiting eagerly for Ethan's answer. Ethan's voice was clear. No. Behind the props, my fists clenched. No girlfriend? Then what was I? What about all the times he'd pinned me against the wall, kissing me until we were both breathless? What about everything we'd done? I was about to storm out when Ethan continued, his voice suddenly soft and warm. But I'm in love with someone. I'm trying to win him over. The anger drained out of me as quickly as it had appeared. I stepped out from behind the props and walked up to him, clapping him on the shoulder. Time to go. His face lit up when he saw me. He was like a big golden retriever, practically wagging his tail. On the deserted path back to the dorms, Ethan's fingers found the spaces between mine, and our hands intertwined. I didn't pull away. When we got to the little grove of trees, I pulled him in, this time pushing him against a tree trunk. I beckoned to him with my finger. His Adam's apple bobbed. He asked what was wrong. I grabbed his collar. I told him that from now on, if anyone asked if he was taken, he was to say yes. Got it? A look of pure, unadulterated joy spread across his face. He asked if I meant what he thought I meant. I nodded, then added that there was one condition. He stared at me intently, saying he'd agree to anything. Cleared my throat. I'm on top. There was a beat of silence. Then Ethan wrapped his arms around me, burying his face in my neck. A short, muffled laugh escaped him. Okay, he said. You can be on top. My face flushed, and I lightly punched his arm, telling him to stop laughing. Having established my rightful place in the relationship, I was content. I found myself being much more lenient with Ethan. After all, a good boyfriend should be pampered. I knew the rules. Ethan, for his part, was ecstatic, a permanent smile plastered on his face. In secret, I started doing some serious research. I was determined to be the best. A week later, on a Friday night, I casually suggested we get a hotel room. His eyes darkened instantly. He whispered in my ear, "Okay, honey." A fire ignited deep inside me. At the hotel, I wasted no time, pushing him against the door and kissing him. He was pliant, letting me lead. I pushed him onto the bed and climbed on top of him. He lay there, looking up at me with those dark, intense eyes. My throat went dry. I lifted his shirt, my fingers tracing the lines of his abdomen. Suddenly, he grabbed my wrist. His eyes held mine as he slowly licked his lips. His voice was a low, husky growl. "Baby." I was mesmerized. My body went soft, and once again I lost. Before I could even recover, he whispered, "My turn." I realized my mistake and tried to scramble back, but he grabbed my waist and pulled me back under him. He reminded me that he had agreed to let me be on top. Later, my throat was raw. As Ethan carried me to the bathroom to clean up, he held me in the tub, kissing my earlobe, murmuring a stream of compliments. He said my voice was beautiful, that the unfocused look in my eyes was gorgeous, that he loved me so much. I finally snapped and slapped him. His breath hitched. He kissed my palm. He told me to do it again. I cursed at him through gritted teeth. Pervert. He held me tighter, his hot breath on the back of my neck. He said he loved it when I cursed, and he was sorry, but he just couldn't help himself. "You're an animal," I gasped. My protest was smothered. It took a full week of non-stop coddling for Ethan to get back in my good graces. After we made it official, he became my shadow. He was a koala and I was his tree. One afternoon, I was working on a project for my internship, and he was sitting beside me, his head on the desk, just watching me. After a while, he drifted off to sleep. The afternoon sun cast a warm glow on his face. I couldn't resist pulling out my phone and snapping a picture. After a little ing, I posted it to my streaming account. It wasn't long before a comment shot to the top. "See? I told you. The streamer was never going to make it out straight. Wishing you two the best."